Hat comes off. I'm not spinning my tail. This is another debriefing, and this is Roger, my no, he's not the oldest, but my most fragile cat. Anyway, I decided there was something else that I witnessed or participated in Wednesday's trip to Roaring Spring. So this could be called another debriefing video. And you know, I've tried to leave that behind because, frankly, so much stuff goes on that I just can't tell it all. But this I thought was worth mentioning. As I was driving around Roaring Spring, I noticed that there was a guy going. I'm kind of getting used to these electric scooters, I guess they are, and coming down sidewalks and going all over the place. Some people think that's a real problem. But I hadn't seen this, not since I was in Portugal. I saw in Lisbon, this is going way back, but I'd seen a group of tourists led by a guide on a rig, which I didn't even know the name of it. I mean, they were standing on these things that were going around the cities, because a lot of hills up and down, and I'm sure you know what they are. I've learned from him that it was called a Segway, I think, that he was on. But I'd never seen one in Roaring Spring. And I hadn't seen one in years, actually, in person. But he was going around the spring dam, I think it was at first, I noticed. Or maybe it was up on the streets around the Methodist and the Church of God up there. And I thought that's kind of curious. And I was amazed to see that he was doing stuff on his cell phone with both hands while he was riding around. This is a technology I'm not familiar with yet. But anyway, I hadn't paid that much attention to it, just kind of thought it was kind of curious. And after I'd made my various stops, I came down to the brewery, which is the Spring Dam Brewery. And that's my last stop usually. And I'd even taken a walk out around to take a look at the progress on the cleanup of the paper mill site. Taking a walk around that and was coming up through, and there he was again, just kind of going around. And he was kind of making a study of the building, the Spring Dam Brewery, reading the signs up at the top, which I hadn't noticed. They date from, oh my, maybe when I was a kid, you know, that they sold magazines and stuff like that on the windows, back when it was a magazine store. Anyway, it looked like he was going to go in, but he wasn't sure. He got off his Segway and was kind of standing there and taking a lot of time looking things over. I thought he was maybe taking a picture of it. I didn't know. But anyway, as I was going up the stairs, I said to him, are you going in here? And he said, I might. And I said, hey, it's a great place, and the beer's really good. I recommend it. And I went on in, and before long, he came in through the door and sat down at the bar. I don't even know if I'd sat down yet. But anyway, I sat at the bar too, several seats away. And, you know, he seemed to, I don't know, he was just acting different, friendly. And of course I know why he sat down first, because I recognized one of the waitresses that I hadn't seen there for quite a long time. I was real happy to see her. And he sat down, and I'd ordered a beer, and I said to him, I don't know if I said to him, he might have asked me if I recommended anything, and I said, oh yeah, this is my choice, a dark beer. We talked about beer a little bit. Well, anyway, it turns out that he, I believe, is a college senior working on a summer job, staying in, I think, Altoona, and the summer job takes him around to various places, and he was with somebody else, and the else had left him, dropped him off, and he was a tourist. The work day was over, or they had time, and he just had he had his Segway with him, and he had just decided he would take a look at this town, and uh, and he was being blown away by it, to tell you the truth. I mean, eventually we talked quite a bit about beauty of towns and beauty of places and where he'd like to travel and where I've traveled, where he'd traveled. He's American, but his ancestry is half Spanish and half Moroccan. Handsome guy. And he was Basque. He wanted to go see the Basque because we had lots to talk about. And of course the waitresses were friendly as they could be with him. It wasn't 15 minutes before he said, "Boy, I'm glad you brought me into this place." He said, "This is wonderful." And I said, "Yeah, we talked about that some too. How nice the people were and how it's a lot like an English pub." Well, he'd never been, I don't think he'd ever been to England yet. That might have got us talking about foreign travel. But I left, got a second beer actually because conversation was good enough. But I left, he was still there. He's waiting for his friend to pick him up, and I don't know how long he stayed, and this place began to fill because it's trivia night, usually Wednesday night. Anyway, we talked about various things, but we both agreed that Roaring Spring was a gorgeous place. He felt like that generally about Pennsylvania. He's from Iowa, if I have that right. And he said, this is like Iowa, with the people being open and friendly, except it's got mountains. and you know, well, I'm telling you this because in a way, I almost felt like I was witnessing the birth of genuine tourists. He had no reason to be in Roaring Spring, except that he had some time to blow, and he was curious, and it looked interesting, and he was being blown away. But he didn't even know that the paper mill had ever been there. He never knew that the town was plagued by a foul smell of a paper mill for about 100 years or more. He didn't know about the spring dam and its 8.3 cubic feet of water per second. He was just looking around. So I think I can say I've witnessed the birth of tourism in Roaring Spring. Bye for now.